9 government officials have been arrested, 14 service providers have also been arrested, and 4 individuals are linked to an organized fraud that siphoned over 100 million rands that was meant for education. My name is Alokwan, and these are the news that matter the most. Now, this 100 million rands that is at the heart of this investigation was destined for school repairs, learning resources, educational upliftment in rural communities. Instead, this money never reached the learners it was meant to empower. Now, instead of getting textbooks, classrooms, and essential services, that 100 million plus was allegedly rerouted into pockets and companies with no delivery, no services rendered, and no accountability when things went wrong. Now, according to the prosecutors and Hawks investigators, contracts were inflated far beyond their value, and some services were allegedly never provided at all, yet the money was paid. And some of the funds were laundered through complex schemes that include transfers to numerous bank accounts and relatives of the officials. And because these ain't just local businesses, some suspects were traced across multiple provinces. The Hawks had to coordinate arrests in Mpumalanga, Gauteng, Limpopo, and the Western Cape. And like most sweeping cases, this didn't happen overnight. Now, investigations date years back, with the red flags first raised around 2019-2020 financial records showing irregular contract awards. And the Hawks head, Major General Nico, said these arrests are part of a long-term probe into irregularities, contract manipulation, and bypass supply chain processes. And amongst those arrests, there are former acting head of department, former chief financial officer, directors responsible for planning and implementation, and business people who allegedly benefited from dodgy contracts. And in one case, a well-known pastor and business figure was not home when the Hawks arrived, and he was told to surrender himself at a local police station. Now, all suspects made their first court appearance on the 23rd of February 2026 in Mbombela Magistrate Court, and a handful of suspects were granted bail, including well-known names associated with the case. Names such as Absalom Tema, who's a former acting CFO, and his daughter Opalisa Taylor, and Nono Maribe, who's a former senior official, Ruth Koza, who is a service provider. They were all granted 50,000 rand bail each, and one wheelchair-bound accused received 5,000 rand bail, and others remain in custody with additional bail hearings or further appearances scheduled. And those released on bail are expected to be back in court on the 27th of March 2026 for further pre-trial hearings. And latest reports indicate that 36 suspects have now been arrested in connection with the alleged tender fraud and money laundering operation. Now, the Hawks said they are closing in on additional suspects. 40 individuals are targeted, and that more court appearances are expected as those additional arrests are processed. The initial courtroom stage has begun, with the state presenting its charges and the court making early bail decisions. Now, this case is far from over, with multiple suspects still behind bars, and more arrests are likely to happen and a full pre-trial process ahead. The 26th of March 2026 is a key date where further hearings and progress towards trial will continue. What are your thoughts?